Welcome to the IESF America's Dota 2 qualifier. It's the final day. I am Waxton, joined by Black, and we have a couple of amazing best of threes for C. Who is going to secure their slots at the World Esports Championships? Black, it's been a long couple of days, but right now it's all that we've been playing for. The teams are only a couple of best of threes away from making it to Riyadh.
Yep, two of them are gonna go through. Well, we have our favorites already.
Absolutely.
So we'll see if that ends up holding true. But first, we're gonna have a little bit of a, how do you call this kind of match? Like a bragging rights match.
Absolutely. It's just not the bragging rights. I think it's a bit of a, national pride. It's 2024, the Paris Olympics are going, and here at the IESF, it's a little bit of this as well, right? We know last year, Philippines won the overall medals for all the esports. And right now, of course, these two teams are no longer playing to, they're no longer playing to win any medals, but they're still want to represent their nation and prove that they are better in the region.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it always goes, right? You gotta trickle down the goals, right?
Yeah.
First is this. If that doesn't happen, well, bad luck. Next year maybe, but then we still have this. So go down the checklist. And yeah, this should on paper be a pretty even match. Let's see what they draft. Maybe they have some fun stuff up their sleeve. Maybe some carry axe or something.
Wow, carry axe. Blad definitely knows something is up with the current meta. But right now, of course, it's going to be Ecuador versus Panama and Costa Rica versus Colombia at the same time. And this Costa Rica versus Colombia match, Black, it's quite a good one because they're playing actually for the second place in the group stage. Of course, wanting to join Ecuador, United States, and Venezuela in those qualifying matches. So still a couple things at stake. Also, USA versus Venezuela over in Group B will be taking place off stream at the same time, I think. But the caveat there, Black, is the fact that the winner gets to avoid playing Ecuador. And we know how strong Ecuador has been. And, you don't want to face them, essentially, in what will be your final chance to qualify.
Yeah, you're probably really right with that. Playing against Ecuador, even for the USA, it might be a very tough matchup.
Yeah.
Like USA, they really played well. They dismantled their opponents 4 times, but I'd argue Ecuador does the same, but in even a more dominating fashion.
Yeah,
avoiding them would be very important.
They were by far the highlight of the highlights because, we talked a little bit about how many show reels we had from all the teams that dominated, of course, USA and Ecuador being at the forefront of that. But let's talk about this upcoming series. It's Costa Rica, it's Colombia. Both teams have 1 loss and 1 victory, respectively. They've defeated Panama and lost to the Ecuador that we're talking about. So right now, they still have a lot of things to play for, but I'm going to give you a pre-draft prediction and say that Colombia kind of feels like the favorite going into this one, for me at least.
You're probably right. From what we have seen, they look just a little bit more connected, a little bit more in tune with the meta, and individually they're not bad players at all. So it's probably a pretty good assessment that they're the favorites to win. Not by a massive amount, maybe 10%, like 60-40 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely favorite.
Yeah, I think even if we look at the series, the matches they played versus Ecuador, Costa Rica got destroyed in 19 minutes in one of the games. And Colombia, they managed to hold for 26 minutes. That was the lowest time. And neither of these two are impressive results by any sort of imagination. But maybe, styles do make matchups. So hopefully Costa Rica can put up a bit of a fight. This might actually be one of the only best of 3 games that we get to cover on the stream live. I don't think we had any best of 3 series on stream this week.
Best of 3 series?
As in, we haven't had a game go all 3 games while we watched it live.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Maybe. If it's 1 game, then this could definitely be the one. As we said, they're pretty evenly matched. So yeah, I can definitely see Colombia, Costa Rica taking a map of each other. But it could also just be a 2-0. You know, Colombia is, as we said, pretty good, pretty decent. So, slight favorite, probably nothing major though. That's always a problem. Like, you see them play against Ecuador, both of them, and they both got pretty washed, you know? We can't really come to any conclusion when it comes to their skill level, unfortunately, through that. Ecuador is just too good. Not just one level above, but probably 2 or 3 levels above. So we'll have to see how they behave when they play a more evenly matched team.
I'm looking, of course, at the Colombian roster as well. They have Jesus, Castel, Aldana, Mapu, and Arbolito. Aldana, one of the highlight supports for me in this tournament, despite being on the receiving end of a beating when they had them on stream. I believe he played a great bat rider and a very solid hoodwink. And of course, Jesus, the more experienced player of the Colombian side, he tried to do a lot of things when we saw him, but their opponents knew how much of an important factor he was on the roster, so they would prioritize ruining his offlane as much as possible. So let's see if Costa Rica will try to replicate some of that in this best of 3 series, Black. But what about you? What is one of the players that you are actually most keen to watch in the series?
And from these 10 players, it probably is Jesus. Like, he was yesterday pretty much the vocal point of the entire team. Like, they tried to give him a decent lane, and he played pretty well for himself. But obviously, as a team, as a whole, they got outplayed. But he did very well. I don't know much about his hero pool, so we'll have to see what hero he gets. But as we already said a couple of times, this meta right now is definitely a meta where an offlaner can carry and has carried many games. So if they give him a good game, he's definitely more than capable of carrying.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday he ran the Timbersaw and the Enigma, which of course is a great sign of versatility. Not one of those offlaners that go and only play Nature's Prophet, Lone Druid, Admiral Bulldog.
And Bounty Hunter.
And Bounty Hunter, true. That is true. What are your thoughts on Bounty? I think we actually discussed about him yesterday a little bit. And I said I think the hero is a bit broken. You think it needs a complete rework to actually make it more, well, make sense?
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really... Again, it's one of those heroes that I love to play, but it's also a hero I hate playing against. It's just super annoying. And I mean, who likes to get money stolen, you know? Like, I don't care whether I win or lose when I play Bounty Hunter. I literally just go and steal your money. And you're gonna be annoyed. So either way, I win, you know? Just, I don't know. I feel like PA skill set would suit Bounty Hunter pretty well, too. You know?
PA skill set?
No, but you know what I mean, right? Like, why does Bounty Hunter necessarily have to be connected to money? Yeah, of course, you do hunt for money, but it doesn't mean that you're all about stealing money or generating money, you know? Like, a bounty hunt could be that you collect a trophy, something like PA, where you get like a permanent boost or something, you know, per trophy that you collect. Or maybe you have like a certain arrangement of trophies that you need to get through if you kill every hero one time with it, and you get like a mega buff or something like that, you know? I think it could be pretty fun. Like
okay.
Some sort of trophy collection. I think it's just, a little bit outdated, the bounty hunter set right now. He's invis, he steals your money, he throws some shurikens, cool, but who cares?
Okay, so you don't care. Black
I don't care.
Doesn't care. But what do you think, and how much do you care about these the new heroes in the meta? And I'm gonna go straight to the point. You mentioned the axe. Tell me a little about the axe.
Well, axe is unfortunately not very meta, but I love playing axe. I was in fact one of the first pro players to play axe on the safe lane. And yeah, I have a special connection with the bro. You know, we both like being lightly dressed while we run outside and scream at people.
Well, I find it interesting to say he's not. You say he's not meta, but in the 400 games he's been played since 2 days ago when the patch came, he's got a 55.4 win rate.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's not a bad hero. I think he's actually quite underrated. In fact, this call-out facet is pretty insane. Like, everyone you call gets 45% bonus attack speed, which means you obviously spin faster.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. You know, I think, as I said, he's pretty underrated. Offlane, he can snowball really hard. Like, if you ever get him a kill or two, he suddenly has a Vanguard minus 6, he just dives you. You need 3 or 4 heroes to kill him. Once he's level 6, he starts snowballing with all that bonus armor. I think there's a lot of room for exploration with that hero.
I would love to see some Axe. I think whenever Axe is in the meta, he makes for a lot of fun plays. I believe it was it Riyadh last year, I think, when he was kind of meta, and it was it Collapse playing it, and he would go for these insane calls at the edge of the map because he's like a really good Axe player. Do I remember that correctly? Was it Riyadh last year?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, we've seen so many fun and historical Axe games in the past.
Of course.
Probably most memorable would always be Seb. You know?
I mean, of course. I mean, yes. I was trying to think of something slightly more recent, not trying to go 5 years back, you know.
But yeah, that's like the kind of thing, you know. A hero like Axe just has this potential to make games super hype, always. He's not like a Shaker, you know. Yeah, Shaker has some cool moments with like a super nice ult, but it's such a long cooldown. You know, Axe is like 10 seconds cooldown, so it can happen every time, anytime, any moment. And of course, dunking on a fool with Culling Blade, nothing is more fun than that, you know? Get faster, dunk the next guy, rampage, be the hero of the game, then blink in and die like an idiot because you're an Axe. Fine, because you're Axe, people won't flame you.
Dunking on a fool, I'll write that down. I will write that down for sure. That's what that Axe does. As right now, we are waiting to get into this game number 1. So, okay, we're theory crafting a little bit here, Black. Of course. But let's talk about Ember Spirit, which seems to be the hero of the hour. It was on an upwards trajectory at the end of the previous patch, and right now, he's no longer on an upwards trajectory. He is duct tape to a spaceship rocket and heading for Uranus or Jupiter. Of course, I'm not trying to make any of those jokes. Ember Spirit is one of these heroes that is fun to see, it's fun to play, but if he's slightly overtuned, it's impossible to defeat. So, is there a way of defeating Ember Spirit in the current meta, or you gotta just ban it so you avoid any of these issues?
I mean, it's hard to say, honestly. Like, this is what happens when you don't really nerf a hero, but you nerf a lot of things that are good against it, and heroes that are good against him. As I said before, every spirit has a tendency. You know, if he's just a little bit too strong, suddenly he's completely unstoppable, because mobility in Dota is probably the most broken concept, like movement speed and mobility, like blinks and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, heroes like that, you gotta be careful with the balancing a lot. That is what I keep always hinting towards too. Like, the more stuff you add, like these facets, all that, neutral items, heroes that innately snowball will snowball even harder. You know, because they just get these items for free. Or like the double hit facet, you get it for free. Like, suddenly you just hit the guy twice instead of once, when he was already strong. And like, why does that need to happen? But yeah, I think if you don't really know a great way to shut him down completely, ban him and be done with it. And I think we just started with no game, no players in the other team. They're all invisible to me.
They're also invisible to me, but maybe they're playing they're playing Ghosts, Black. That is what might be happening. Of course, sometimes there's a few difficulties with Dota. Hopefully it's gonna be sorry, look, I've never seen it look like this. What?
I'm pretty sure there was no player in the lobby. Like, they all 5 left together or got booted out together. I don't know what happened. And then they started.
Huh. I think they're playing versus bots. Did you think about that one?
Dude, it was super funny. It was like starting, and all the players left, and they just started.
It's Dota. It's Dota pro players versus OpenAI yet again. Actually, Black, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think we are at the point right now of no coming back? We could not defeat AI in a 5v5 Dota game?
Oh no way. That's the thing with AI right now.
Okay.
It's scary. I'm just gonna give you that example because I defeated it many times. Like the 1v1 SF bot.
Yes.
It had a 99.9 something % win rate. Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's other players out there too. But I might be the first player on stream that beat it like 2 or 3 times consecutively. Because with every AI, there's always things it doesn't know. Exactly.
I see.
It's a pattern that you can exploit, and you can keep repeating that pattern over and over and over until it's adjusted at some point. But even then, there's going to be a new pattern that you can abuse. Because, I don't believe in omnipotence or anything like that. I think anything and everything has an exploit or weakness. So will AI one day be the greatest thing ever? Maybe, but not until I'm gone. I'm the 2024 John Connor.
Huh.
Alright, I'm leaving lobby, by the way.
So am I, Black. I'm just restarting to get back in the game. There's, of course, a Dota 2 update in the middle of the qualifier. It's fine. I would rather have the updates now where we are doing the online qualifiers than the LAN finals, or rather during TI, so it's fine. It's a little bit of a pain that sadly these players will have to endure before we go live, and of course you, the viewers, will have to go through. But it's not going to take too long, as we're going to send it to a short break, and when we're back, it's going to be the beginning of the first best of 3 of the day. Welcome back to the IESF Dota 2 qualifiers. I'm very excited to be here again with you this time around, ready to get into action. Black, it's Costa Rica, it's Colombia. Hopefully the players can get it all sorted, because having hiccups in what could be the most important games of some of these players' career is never a good thing, right?
Well, it depends on what kind of hiccups.
Technical hiccups.
Yeah, but I actually have to say, some of these moments, technical hiccups, whatever you want to call them, it can actually induce some sort of it can make the atmosphere more relaxing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because a lot of the times, a lot of these people, a lot of these teams, in these moments, as you said, it's a career defining moment potentially. It can be super tense, very stressed, and something like that happens. I don't know, somebody drops some coke into the keyboard, and everyone's like, "Ha, you idiot!" And then the mood is suddenly really light.
Has this ever happened to you, Black? Did you ever drop coke on the keyboard?
I'm super careful with not having drinks around my electric stuff. Dude.
Oh wow.
My teammate, I'm not gonna say who, he literally went to the bathroom and somehow dropped the phone in the toilet. And then obviously the phone was gone.
That's a good one. I mean, toilets and phones are a famous duo. The best one I've heard, though, is someone dropping their phone in soup. They were texting and they just slipped their hand in a bowl of soup. It was obviously, as you could imagine, the same result as dropping it in the toilet because of the liquids. But I think that's just a cool thought, seeing someone drop their phone in soup.
But it's kind of mean to laugh at it, though, because it's, I mean, the unfortunate truth is, phones have everything nowadays, right? Every app and
passwords.
There's so many things, and if you just lose it without having backups, you are in big trouble. There's so many hours you have to spend on redoing everything. I always feel bad when I laugh at it, but at the same time, I can't really help but laugh at it.
No, I know what you mean. Of course, it hurts. But especially with how expensive phones are these days. But if it's happening to the players before the game, maybe it can help them focus on something else other than a very crucial series that is now underway. The draft has begun, and we're opening up with a Rubik.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very open pick.
Safe.
You pretty much go in 2 different positions, 3 different roles. Even we've seen it. It block picks a couple of heroes. So yeah, why not? It's a very strong hero.
10 seconds remaining.
Coming back to what we Germans call Schadensfreude, though. You've heard of that before, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say, your girlfriend, something that happens to her. Would you be able to not laugh, or would you just laugh? Because I think I would start cracking for sure.
10 seconds remaining.
And I think I would first check if she's okay, and then it's done, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear the rest of the conversation, it's going to be behind the paywall for the Black and Waxen podcast. So we kind of ignore that train of thought Thank you very much, Black, for that. This is a great opening for our series. I don't want to entertain that anymore. As
Right.
Colombia coming in with a hoodwink. Okay, so both teams are going for some very
10
versatile
seconds
openings in the
remaining.
Rubik and hoodwink, not in a position sense, as both most
5
likely will be
seconds
played as
remaining.
position fours, but it allows for a lot of pairings, and what I would assume would be on the off lane, as probably both hoodwink and Rubik will be position fours.
Yeah, most likely. They've been seen in different positions, obviously, but most of their playtime is in their +4. Boring. Mix it up a bit, guys. Come on. You know, just like the tennis guy we spoke about, the underhand serve. Do that. Get a free point. Carry Rubik is kind of dead after they changed the talent, so maybe don't do that. And also don't build Daedalus Gleipnir on your +4 hoodwink.
Yes, dude. No, I disagree. What do you mean? The one game we had someone build it, they won the game.
No, they lost.
Did they? Oh.
Yeah, because he died in 2 seconds because he had no support items. No Glimmer Cape, no Force Staff. Or they jumped the guy, well, too bad.
Daedalus Gleipnir is the way to go. Ignore what Black is saying. He doesn't know what he's on about. Daedalus Gleipnir. Rubik, Rush, Ags. Like, no force. Not even Blink. Just get Ags first
10
item.
seconds
Yeah?
remaining.
Yeah, sounds about right, Black. Ags,
Dagon.
Kaya. Dagon. Of course, we actually had a Dagon
Remaining.
first Rubik. Was it Flea from US yesterday? I think he built Dagon first in both games he played Rubik.
Yeah, and then we went Dagon 5 even.
Team pick.
Yeah. So I think this is just the way to go. The supports are cosplaying as carries these days. But Colombia is going to continue with another one of these supports, which can be very sacrificial in the form of the Clockwork. I don't think Clockwork is that great into a Rubik. I mean, obviously it's great overall, but if you
10
hookshot someone
seconds
that's not the Rubik, then you just get telekinesis outside of your own cogs, and that's it.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Rubik is traditionally considered the Clockwork counter. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe they put the clock against the carry, where the Rubik probably won't be. I'm not sure, but Clockwork against Rubik is just historically not good.
Dire
Because you
team
need to be close, you just get lifted, and you're not close anymore. And with a Pangolier,
Nice.
Pangolier Rubik, a pretty potent offlane duo as well. Could also be a mid. He only has 4 fingers.
This is really good, actually. Pangolier.
10
What?
seconds remaining.
Pangolier. Still,
It took you so long to realize.
Pangolier picked into the Clockwork is a bit of a strange one, because the cogs are great in dealing with the Rolling Thunder, right? And even interrupting casting it. If you're casting Rolling Thunder and clock pops the cogs, you just get pushed back and it delays. It kind of, helps you with being chain stunned. And, then you have a Bushwhack that randomly connects to you, Sharpshooter to break your passive, and the Pangolier
10
could die,
seconds remaining.
especially as now Colombia knows they need another hero, potentially the offlaner, to get a bit more reliable lock as they're playing versus both Pangolier and Phoenix.
Both Pangolier and Phoenix. It's an interesting combo so far that they've picked, to be honest. I mean, Pangolier is pretty good at protecting the egg. Has some nice attack speed slow. The roll, of course, is very nice. Rubik, probably not the best pairing with Phoenix, but not the worst either. It can definitely work. And they don't really have an X Scrambler yet. So we'll see what they end up going for. We have seen Marcy historically, or Ursa.
Snapfire's still there.
Or Beastmaster. I don't know why nobody picks that hero still.
I wanted to ask you as a thought.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Invoker, my god. Okay,
That's
Colombia's
good.
here to play.
It's good against Phoenix. Alacrity, of course, gives a ton of attack speed. Finally, people pick Beastmaster. Why does it take so long? I literally don't understand.
It's also very, very good versus the Pangolier. Cold Snap and the Spirit Vessel are just a pain to play into. And then later on you get the Alacrity, as you said, for extra right clicks on the Phoenix. No, I like this draft from Colombia a lot. And unless Costa Rica has something to actually change my mind now, and they have the Ursa.
It doesn't change my mind, though.
Yeah, Ursa into Beastmaster. I mean, at this current moment in time, it feels like Beastmaster versus anything. I would just give the edge to the Beastmaster, especially as Colombia also have the overall last pick.
And Beast Hoodwink is going to be a lot of spam. Ursa is not the best hero dealing with that. Phoenix Ursa is not the best lane at all. I foresee a lot of struggles for our fairy boy down there. Invoker also historically is a hard counter to Ursa. Ice Wall is fantastic. Your Enrage does nothing against that. Tornado is great.
Great, yeah.
Cold Snap is great. Deafening Blast. Like, you have so many tools of dealing with Ursa. It's the same reason why Sven yesterday felt very lackluster against the Invoker.
Yeah.
Like,
Radiant team back.
it's just, you know, historically not good. If you have 4 abilities that counter a hero, well, good luck to you.
Maybe we do live in a time where it's time for Invoker to be S tier again, back in the meta, right? We have Shadow Fiend completely making
10
a
seconds
return
remaining.
in competitive scene for back-to-back patches now. Maybe it's
5
also going to be
seconds
Invoker. You know, Queen of Pain is seeing a lot of play with the Masochist facet, so the players are finding ways of introducing these, you know, beloved traditional mid heroes back into the game. But now Colombia's not really sure what Costa Rica might want, as that's why they're banning both the Puck and the Mars, because the Pangolier can easily be flexed onto obviously the offlane or the mid lane.
Mid lane against Invoker is... Invoker is just not the strongest lane. Like, he's very self-sufficient, but he doesn't really bully you or anything like that. He doesn't build bottle. He doesn't have the best ways of really bullying you out of the lane. So you could put Pango there. You could pick something else there. Rubik Pango, as we said, is a pretty strong dual lane as well. But we don't even know the carry. So we have to wait and see.
Afraid of a potential Marcy carry here. Costa Rica really assessing the situation. And I think, you know, Marcy would have counted for Colombia.
Yeah.
I
Medusa Beastmaster, dude. Woo, that's fun.
Okay. No, that's good.
5
It
seconds.
will never happen though. Like, I don't know why people don't pick Dusa. Wait, let me check matchmaking again right now. What do pro players play?
It would force Ursa to build a diffuser, which is not something that she hates, but obviously doesn't prefer during that. That would be good. I think actually Medusa would be good for would have been good for Costa Rica if the Invoker wasn't on the table, right? But then the EMP just kind of punishes the mono shield of the Medusa. So I think Medusa mid, imagine that, like Medusa mid, that's the one you wanted, right? Flexing Pango to the off lane, and then Medusa Phoenix is a classic one. You pop the Stone Gaze when the Supernova is charging, and you protect the egg that way. But it's not going to be the case this game. I'm pretty certain this is not the case. Phoenix offlane though, no. The Centaur, and I feel like the more Centaur we see, the least I like the hero, because he just doesn't win that much, and definitely not in these qualifiers.
Which is pretty curious, because I think the hero is actually quite strong. But again, there's also a bias, right? Because a lot of the teams that actually lost with it were the teams that were supposed to lose the game to begin with. Yeah, exactly.
The teams that were supposed to lose. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, you play against USA, you know that you're the underdog, most likely, and they're gonna smack you, you know? Whether you like it or not, it's gonna happen. Been in that position many times. I've also been in the opposite position, where the enemy team was like, oh, have mercy on me. I'm like, nope. No mercy.
Have you ever lost to USA?
In Dota?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have national teams in Germany. We don't do that stuff. Germans don't like each other.
Kind of sad.
It is. As I said, on paper, we should have an insane team. But yeah.
Yeah, we keep on talking. We keep on debating about this, Black, every single time. I feel like I would love to see you play for your German national team, but it doesn't happen. Nobody wants you together.
Chaos Knight again. Why pick Medusa if you can just pick the same thing over and over?
The CK into Ursa. I think this is going to be very interesting. He seems to go for Phantasmagoria, but I believe there's, you know me, there's an argument to be made that he could go for Irrationality. I'm just saying.
Not as a carry.
I actually think would work as a carry. You get the break/silence versus the Centaur and the Ursa, even the Pangolier. Like, that's pretty good. Of course, you want to have stronger illusions, and the Phantasms, of course, are very, very strong. But that facet got a little bit nerfed. I'm just saying, when you buff one and nerf the other, it's going to be a moment in time where the balance is going to actually even out.
No, it would be a good facet. I'm still going to say it's pretty trash facet. It would be a good facet if it rotated the effect. First this, then that, because then you can actually set it up. The problem is that it's completely RNG. You can't plan your play around it. Am I going to silence the Ursa or not? You know, because if you silence him, you can kill him. If not, he's going to turn around and beat the crap out of you. So, if you could cycle it around, you disarm, then you break, and then you silence, then you can actually set it up, and then it's really good. In fact, I would believe it's better than the other one in that case.
Okay, well, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. I think Black is cooking up something nicely.
But Vaz doesn't care.
Send this clip to Ice Frog, and I think he might consider it. And as long as it's not, you're not toggling it, it's not like power treads, and it's still cycled, it still requires a little bit of skill involved, and it wouldn't necessarily be broken, right? Because then if you could just silence every single time you right-click someone, you're just a better silencer at that point. But if it cycles through, it kind of forces you in a similar way with the Slaughter, right? To get a couple of hits onto something and then save your silence hit for the actual target you want to get on top of.
Yep. I think it would make a lot of sense. It also costs quite a bit of mana, like 150 to cycle through 100, or like a full cycle. So, yeah, maybe that's something they can do or think about. If they do, I hope I get the money that they make through selling skins to CK. Thank you very much. Now, Smoke and Smoke. Actually, let me see the first disconnect. Oh my god. Okay.
That was Black Dota, ladies and gentlemen, attempting his play-by-play. Not bad. I'd give that like a 3.5 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
I'm a harsh marker. For other people, that would be a 9. So, just saying, 3.5 for me. From me, Black, I think you should put that on the wall. Like, a screenshot of my face and with me saying 3.5 out of 10 and be like, that is arguably your top 10 achievements in life.
Yeah, maybe even higher than that. I always wanted a picture of you on my wall.
Sure.
I couldn't imagine anything better than that, in fact. Like, let me just do it right now. Right?
Wait, can you actually? Of course you can.
Taking out my phone because I don't know how to take screenshots. I'm a boomer.
You don't know how to take screenshots?
That's right. I'm a boomer, as you can see. All right, okay. Let me just, here, you're on that screen. Gotcha. Hey, what's happening?
So you should make something like this happen. This is, you know who the person in the front is and the picture at the back. That you should be the person in the front, I should be the person at the back. I think that's the way we're cooking something up nicely. Okay, Dom, you're actually using your phone to take a picture. He's an actual boomer, ladies and gentlemen. Are you under 30, Black?
I can't see it. Can you?
No, it's a green screen, bro. Of course I can't see it.
Well, I'll send it to you then.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You can put it on your own wall too.
Where did you send it? On Discord? WhatsApp?
Yeah, bro, the phone's loading. It's an S8, okay? It's pretty old.
Are you emailing me? Are you like...
I'm scanning it right now to send it to you.
By fax? Of course, yeah. Of course. Wait, I gotta open the window for the pigeon. Oh, thank you. I received it.
Right, here you go. I took a nice little picture of you.
This is
Let me know what you think of my photography skills. I think you can't get much better than that, personally.
Let's see. Well, that's actually not half bad.
Yeah, like that face. I think I caught a pretty good shot.
Oh, that's, it catches my jawline. My teeth look quite nice.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you
noticed, I'm actually clean shaven for today's broadcast. I wanted to make it special as it's the last fire we have for the year.
Are you a beard guy? Do you actually like having a beard?
No, I'm not a beard guy. I think it's just because the way I was raised, my grandma would always used to say, "Oh, you gotta look professional. You gotta shave," and it kind of stuck to me.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I mean, I did some research. Apparently, every time you have an airline interview, you need to show up in like a suit, 3-piece suit, and clean shaven, and I'm gonna get like the best fitted suit ever. Show off all my insane muscle mass. They'll be like, holy crap, that guy is so fit. We're gonna hire him.
I mean, it depends what job you're going for.
Pilot, of course.
Oh, pilot, of course. Yeah, but I was thinking, like, if you go for a food taster, maybe you don't need to be like showing off your muscles.
Yeah, that makes sense. But even then, they'd be like, wow, the guy must know what he's eating, cause,
Oh, true. No, that's true.
Ryu.
Let's ignore Rio for a second and look at the rest of the Costa Rican squad. What are they up to? Just by the Lotus Pool, they're crossing over the bridge towards the opponent Wisdom Rune.
Yeah.
30
Uh,
seconds.
Or they're
to
blocking the
remaining.
Ancients against the Beastmaster. That's pretty smart.
That is pretty smart, and that is something that we've been praying at other teams to do. Finally, they've almost done it.
And now they all rotate back as 5. Could potentially still find something.
Find something or something to find them as they are spotting Isus. The Beastmaster has to walk down south and is trying to go for the wraparound. Let's see, the bounty runes will be protected by the expanded armature of the clockwork, and I think it should be 3 bounties for the Radiant and a single one for Costa Rica.
Now, if you see them do this kind of thing, it should be pretty obvious that they went to block a camp. Like, you wouldn't move there with all of your team if you weren't up to something. Because obviously they weren't standing on the hill, they weren't waiting for first blood. Let's see how long they take to identify it, because obviously that spot in particular is very important for Beast.
Wex Invoker is not the one that we've had a lot of in this patch. A lot of people seem to prefer the Exhort one, but I think this is the case of something we broke down yesterday. Going early levels Quas Wex and then starting with Max Exhort.
Yeah, or just max Wex as well. A lot of people have been doing that too with the Witchblade. A lot of deeps. Yeah, top lane should be hard. For the Ursa, can't really deal with the Boars well.
I wanted to ask you
yeah, go ahead.
about this Rubik facet, because I feel like for the beginning of 736, since the introduction of the facets, we had a lot of arcane supremacy, and then when you play Rubik mid, you go for the Frugal Filch, but nowadays even supports Rubiks go for the same facet of Frugal Filch. Do you really think saving mana on stolen spells cast, is it really that much better than having the subsequent spells AoE?
I think it depends on the matchups too. Like in this game, I don't think there's too many spells that have great AoE on it to begin with. And just being able to spam spells from a long range pretty much infinitely, because that mana cost reduction is pretty insane. It's very valuable.
I had a Rubik carry me today. Shout out to the Rubik in my game. Let's see if Shiri can have at least half of the success that my teammate had earlier today. You know, I'm a man that usually... I like giving props when they're due, and it's not often you give props to your teammates in Dota. So, hey,
that's toxic.
If we have the platform to do so. Oh, Daggerat getting out of there just on a sliver of HP with the help of the stick.
The lane's just gonna get harder though. Wait a minute. He actually skilled Inner Beast.
Yeah, that's what happened yesterday as well when we had the Beastmaster.
Yeah. Then I guess you're just gonna go 3 levels in Axis after that.
Oh, you meant as in the skill? I
Yeah.
thought you meant the facet.
No, the skill.
That's kind of strange, actually.
Yeah, for the laning phase, it's a little bit unusual.
Well, so far, other than an attempt or a top on the Phoenix's life, the lanes are going quite split down the middle. Even last hits, okay, slight advantage for the Dire side, but not that considerable.
Yeah, it's a typical melee versus range matchup. I still don't know why these heroes get 5 to 6 base damage per level. It's just silly.
You know, one problem with blocking the side Ancient camp is the fact that it's still much better to stack the triangle. And that's what Aldana's been doing anyway. I don't think he even walked to the side camp to see that it's blocked because he's trying to stack the triangle. He didn't successfully do it. He tried, and now bottom. It's actually action bottom as well. Mapu and Shiri trading a lot of blows. And it's gonna be Isus getting the first blood up top. 4-3-3 to fall.
Yeah, I mean, they picked the Ursa into Beastmaster. It's not a good matchup, to be honest. Like the Boars, there's too much to handle for the Ursa most of the time.
I feel like it's a common mistake to just think, oh, Beastmaster is a melee, we're gonna kill him because I'm an Ursa, and Ursa dominates melee v melee matchups, but like you said, there's so many things the Beast throws at you, including the right clicks of the boars, that are just so oppressive.
Yeah, and of course he has to be universal here too, to get some more base damage. Wouldn't be balanced otherwise.
Do you think Beastmaster as a hero is inspired from the story of Dr. Dolittle? You know, like the doctor that flipped to animal?
Maybe.
Shiri just eating a couple of Chaos Strikes bottom, but still surviving. Let's see if Thorai will be as successful to get out of there, as Mapu is trying to get lucky with a couple onto him, but nothing gonna happen.
Yeah, it's just gonna get harder and harder for the bot lane as the CK gets more levels in crit. They have to be careful. Everyone's eating some mangoes. Hungry, hungry boys.
Oh, nice usage of the cogs to push Thorai in and out.
Thank you.
Oh, now the Phoenix with a perfect rotation, and the Clockwork's gonna be the one to fall. Chaos Bolt does connect, and it should be a trade kill, but no! The Fire Spirits slow down the right click of the CK.
He's still very happy though. The Centaur can't really contest the lane anymore in this condition. Has to go back to base. We should be easily free farming here. Alright, easy kill, I guess. Try to go back to the gate. Oh, the Ursa again. Ursa's dead again. Bye-bye.
This is not a good start for the Costa Rican safe lane, dying twice in a span of 6 minutes. Alright, TPing up top, but he's only level 4 against 3 of the Radiant heroes. He needs more help, as he's tanking a lot of damage from the boar and the creeps, but the Phoenix is here, and they might even be going for a full lane swap actually at this point. I don't see the Ursa coming back here, but Rio is on the Pangolier with the Rolling Thunder, going for the Clockwork, and he will be an easy casualty picked off as we now get 5 Costa Rican players up in this top lane.
I mean, yeah, you got a support kill, but every lane is free farming, essentially. Is dead worth? Probably not.
I would say no.
And of course, Beastmaster. The fact that one board can just stack 2 camps shouldn't be allowed. I don't know what Ursa is actually gonna do this game. It's not a hero that really catches back up. Look at his net worth.
Yeah, Ursa's one of the heroes that likes to maybe not be, well, he would like to dominate his lane, but you know, that's the way to get closer to the Battle Fury and then accelerate his farm. And he doesn't look bad in last hits, but net worth wise, as you already highlighted, it's a pretty dire start for the dire safe lane.
And he's dead again.
I don't think you can keep sacrificing him. There's a roar available. No, there isn't. They used it already, actually, before the beginning of this counterplay, as Thorai is again 1 versus 3, isolated up top. The Rubik is coming, but I don't think you'll be able to save your offlaner this time around, as Invoker comes in. It's Arbolito with the Tornado EMP and the right clicks.
Yeah, this game is looking real rough. 4k head already. Your Ursa is basically well, your Centaur too. Your Ursa and Centaur both have horrendous games. Yeah, I'm not sure how to recover from this early game already. They don't have the levels. They don't really have the heroes to either. Like, their heroes are supposed to win lane.
The Ursa win bottom. He was getting bullied by Mapu. Phantasm Illusion. Oh my god, this is not a, this is a non-game for the Ursa so far.
Yeah, now I can do the jungle now, which is also not what you want as Ursa.
There's a Smoke at 10 bottom. If they can get the CK, it might at least even out the playing field a little bit. The Invoker instantly coming in. Chaos Bolt, Tornado, EMP, and now Ryu. You need to get out of there before you get obliterated. No more mana. Does flush people out, but it's gonna be Daggerat. Caught in the cogs by Camus. Taken out, and all this time, you know, we highlighted the importance of blocking the camps. Look at the Radiant Triangle.
Yeah, the thing is, he doesn't even need it this game because he's free farming so much. He's 1,000 gold away from his axe.
No, he's 5k net worth at minute 9?
Yep.
Oh, and Shiri getting chased by that committee. They use this MP, they really want to get a kill in exchange. Clockwork seems to be the only casualty on the side of Colombia, but is he going to fall this time? I don't think so. Swashbuckle not going to connect, and he's running away. Back to safety. Just cogs in 2 seconds.
Or Rolling Thunder too. Or
no. Keeps on running. He has the box. Stop it.
Oh my god.
Sensational play from the support player of Colombia. Pop gets roared under his tier 2. Pass to Poppy in range to run back to safety. Not even going to be the Pop, but only catch Ryu as Rolling Thunder expires. Black, it's an absolute disaster.
Yeah. That's when your friend asks you, you know, you have like a rough day. You can see it in your face, you have a rough day. And then he's like, what happened? And he's like, yep, exactly. Everything went wrong. Literally nothing is going their way at all. I don't even know what they were supposed to do. 7k behind in 10 minutes? They just lost 3k net worth in what, 1.5 minutes.
And when this pickup is gonna leave,
oh, the whole
shot. I mean, that wasn't even that hard to pick up, to be honest. Rubik just kind of standing still and running around in circles.
Alright, Armlet already done on the CK, so he just 1v2 defends the bot tower too. No fear there. Beastmaster Axe online. Invoker Vessel pretty much done. Yeah. So where's the bad news for them? Or where's the good news for Costa Rica? Phoenix is almost 6. That's good.
That is a good news. Rubik also has 5, so he's not going to take that much longer to get his level 6, and maybe he can start stealing some of the big spells. I think here, some of the big spells might actually be Bushwhack, Sharpshooter, and Tornado. Right? Yeah. You get like, you steal the Bushwhack, and then you protect the Supernova of the Phoenix. Rolling Thunder comes around, and that's how you maybe start winning some of these 5 versus 5 skirmishes in the mid game.
Yeah, it would certainly be a very nice spell to have.
Oh, he doesn't have anything. Bushwhack does miss. The Cogs get on top of him. He's the perfect lineup. He's dodging the Cogs, pushing him back. And try to kill Rubik. And Cook is still there, allowing him to kill another Swashbuckle missed up in the west. But the 2 supports will get claimed, finally punished for their aggressiveness.
700 gold and 800 gold respectively. That's a lot of gold for 2 supports.
I mean, when they're so far ahead. You know what the worst part is? The Rubik still didn't get level 6 because he died first there.
Soon. Opium.
One day. We'll have it. But, oh my god! No! What am I looking at? It's an Axe, Arcane, and 300 gold away from Blink. Minute 13 for the Beastmaster. He's going to solo the Roshan. Okay, Aldana's coming in for the assist for funsies. He doesn't need to be there. Even the CK. They're going to help him. They're going to reduce a bit of the armor with using the Reality Rift. But this is incredible. Minute 13 Roshan. If this doesn't tell you anything you need, everything you need to know about the state of Beastmaster currently, I don't know what else will.
Yeah, infinitely stacking damage from the axes as well. But why not?
And now he has the Blink. Blink, Aegis, Axe, Centaur on the opposite offlaner. Look at how bad his game is. Position 1, position 3, taking the Roshan at minute 13, while your offlaner gets killed by the support mid lane combo is not what you'd like to see if you're a Costa Rican fan.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's almost an Orchid down on the CK.
I mean, this Colombia lineup is playing very well, Black. I gotta say, with the victory, if they keep up their performance here and they would win, they would guarantee second place, meaning they would have to face the winner in Group B. Okay. On the bright side is that is used Roar, cooldown for 70 seconds, and you only lost Shiri on the Rubik, not the Ursa.
Yeah. I
going
guess
for
Ursa's
more.
still farming too. His Battlefield is almost there. It's not half bad, but if you just compare net worths, it's like night and day. Orchid ready.
Why is this so bloody difficult?
They're TPing. They want to try to at least kill these creeps and attempt the defense of this tier 2 bottom tower, Black. They're gonna push them back, maybe. Beastmaster is just there, he doesn't care. He has a roaring 30 seconds, and now the hookshot comes in, connecting onto the center. They need to free him up. The Supernova does come in on the high ground. Beastmaster is getting lower and lower, and the Supernova will explode, connecting onto the Clockwork. Now we have the Stampede as well to help create the separation, but nobody dies on the side of Colombia, and you've used 2 massive ultimates of the Dire side.
Ooh, nice pop. He's dead. Bye-bye.
It's still only Shiri dying, and he's gonna get denied by the neutral creeps. That is a great play, especially when you're getting harassed. And, you know, they're buying a lot of time. I feel like 4 of the Colombian heroes have been in this part of the map for a little over 60 seconds now. So, you know, wasting a bit of time.
Precious bounty.
Yeah, time is exactly what they need. The Ursa needs to farm up. Probably get 2 more items at this point. Easy kill. You're gonna be careful. CK is very strong, guys.
Centaur, I don't know what you're doing there, my friend, other than falling, of course. Another 2 casualties on the map.
Yeah.
Roar top, blink, solo kill. Ryu actually does get the shield crash in. Being double shield crash, he gets enough armor, allowing him to form into the Rolling Thunder and get out of there, TPing to safety. And the Aegis was consumed, of course. Isus lost that just a couple of seconds ago, I think. Oh, Shiri, stop going bottom. Shiri, nice stealing the EMP, turning him around. There's a blink on the center, and the damage is sufficient to get a trade kill onto the Hoodwink now. Trying to go for more. And 4-3-3 comes in. A couple of Fury swipes to kind of guarantee him the kill. And that is the first favorable trade for Costa Rica in a little over 6 minutes now.
A much needed one as well. Invoker worth 1,000 gold. Oh, CK blows up the
not like
Pango.
this. The Orchid completed on Mapu is an obliteration for this Pangolier, and now the cogs onto Daggerat. Gonna slay him again.
It's just a bit too easy for them right now. There isn't really that much counterplay to it. They're just too poor, so they don't have money for the item counters. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do from here. Like, Ursa just can't fight. Pangolier has no answer to silence. Well, nobody does really.
This is the problem, right? When this Chaos Knight just is given so much space, it's very hard to play from behind, especially as you don't have, you know, these carries with reliable lock, like a Faceless Void. You know, you throw a Chronosphere and then you get a Phoenix with a Thunder on top of it, that would be different. The Ursa doesn't quite offer you the same things, and yes, you do have the Centaur Hoof Stomp and then the Pangolier on top of that, but not as easy to make. Not something in Roar stolen instantly concealed, but look at us, trying to collect the kill. They're still trying to do some damage. We need to pop the Supernova. You need to do it now. I think it's actually 2 further back. He's gonna walk outside of the cogs, and now Stampede comes in. Yule Scepter from the Clockwork to lift up 4-3-3. And what is Shiri doing on the high ground? Hello, Rubik.
I'll even
Nice.
get there.
Telekinesis down to the low ground, and now the Sunray coming in. That's a lot of damage, but the Beastmaster almost 1v5s him. Oh, it doesn't matter if it's not him, as Mapu and Arbolito come in, and it's gonna be the Ultra. Too white as Costa Rica loses everybody.
Not all second rampage is determined, unfortunately, but you're gonna see they have to commit so many resources to kill the Beastmaster finally, which they do, and he's worth a lot of money, so it's not the worst kill, of course. One of the best even, but if you lose the entire team to the CK, it's really not worth it. Look at his net worth now.
Oh my god. I think the way Rubik got onto high ground was quite funny. he got pushed slightly by the roar towards the cogs. Cogs were pushing him away from the cliff, but then the bushwhack pulled him back into another cog that pushed him onto high ground. It was a very dubious interaction, but funny nonetheless. Costa Rica really felt confident there. I think Dagirat's a bit too cautious with using his supernova. You saw how far back he was. I think going for an Icarus dive, at least to close some of that distance, might have allowed for him to have way more impact with the ultimate. But speaking of impact, these right clicks from Mapu have so much impact onto the Ursa. That is a solo kill 1v1, and he's trying to man up 1 versus 3, almost killing
Rubik killed himself. He reality rifted the CK. Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it's pretty desperate at this point, you know? So, desperate situations will make you do sometimes not the best looking plays.
Maybe he thought there's not enough, there's hope that there would be some follow-up?
Yeah, that's desperation, right? Like, he can't really... He just thought they need to do something, which... I agree, they do need to do something, but
that is not what they need to do. Yeah, that's not what they need to do. They need to do something which is not that.
Okay.
Oh, what a roar coming in. Pitch perfect again. They're trying to kill the Hoka. Or the clockwork, but the Phoenix Egg this time is way too overcommitted, and the turnaround from the Beastmaster with the right click attack speed. CK, everybody just melts, and it's another team wipe, and the GG gets called. 3-minute 21 as Colombia makes a statement in their attempts of getting out of these groups safely.
Make it look very easy. Kind of same as Ecuador, in fact, against Costa Rica.
Yeah, despite a good draft, Costa Rica couldn't quite find the pacing into the early to mid game, and when you give away the Beastmaster for free, a single sentry you thought might keep you in the game, but it didn't matter. The presence of the boars, the right clicks, the attack speed was just too much from Beast, punishing the Ursa. I believe we had him die 3 times during the first 7 minutes of the game, and if you're a position 1 Ursa, dying perpetually and the rest of your lanes are not going in your favor, it spells disaster for, well, your team.
Yeah, it's just not a good Ursa lane, really. You're playing against Beastmaster Hoodwink with a Phoenix support, it will never work. The boars alone just do so much against you. The permanent slow, the damage, the last hitting with it. It's just obnoxious, and there's really much to do for you at all.
And their rotations were impeccable from Colombia through and through, other than one attempt from the Phoenix early on going gank, which was successful, of course. It was that moment when Colombia said, oh, we are coming in and out. Let us show you what we got. We had Arbolito on the Invoker rotated minute 6. That's not something you see very often. Then the Beastmaster taking the Twin Gate, coming in and assisting and setting up for kills. It was just a very nice play from Colombia, which makes me wonder, Black, maybe when they faced Ecuador, they had a slight off day, which could be a possibility, right? There's every so often we see these teams getting destroyed 2-0s in 1 day, and then 3 days later, if there is a rematch, they are playing much, much better.
Yeah, it can definitely be the case. We won't know because there's well, there is a slight chance that they could play each other in the seeding match potentially.
That is true.
Yeah, if they win, and then they win against the USA. And then, if Ecuador won their game, then they play the seeding match.
If USA is the one to win, Black, come on. We don't know that for sure. Because Venezuela still has a chance.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, Black hitting me with the doubt. GIF fine, Black, fine. Maybe USA is going to be obviously be the favorite in that one. But hey, I'm just saying there is always the potential for an upset.
And I'm just saying they haven't played a single game seriously yet, you know? Like,
that is true.
Rubik's getting Dagon 5s instead of Greaves and stuff like that, you know? We haven't seen a lot of these teams at full strength yet. Like, as I said, even Colombia, they weren't allowed to show their full strength at all yesterday. They just completely shut down in the beginning. And now that they were allowed to play at their best, if this even was their best, maybe they're even better than that. They're looking pretty damn good. Solid draft, solid game understanding, solid laning, solid individual skill, not much to complain about. As I said, against Costa Rica at least, they look pretty much like Ecuador.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I gotta say about this about Costa Rica, I feel like I appreciate that they had a very ambitious game plan in mind, but also playing something very ambitious in what could be your elimination game can be very, very risky. And that's why, going for this slightly more complicated tactics of, we're going to use the Centaur stun and the Rolling Thunder to create space for our Phoenix to have impact in team fights. In theory, could be very, very nice, but that is if only you are a team that has, I don't know, tens, maybe even not hundreds of scrims together, and you know how to utilize those spells in concoction with each other. Otherwise, you just get punished time and time again, and even your comeback potential is very underwhelming, which is exactly what we saw happen. And that's kind of left me with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but thankfully, unlike some of the other qualifiers, this is a best of 3, not a one and done, so Costa Rica will still have a chance to prove what they can do in Game 2 after a short break. Welcome back to the IESF Dota 2 Americas qualifiers. It's the final day. I'm Waxin, joined by Black, bringing you the second map between Costa Rica and Colombia. Colombia is just one map away from making it out of the group stage and fighting for that one of the 2 slots at the World Esports Championship. So we had a bit of a long break, Black. But who do you think gets the advantage after waiting a few more minutes than expected between these 2 maps? The team that lost in Game 1, Costa Rica, or Colombia?
Probably Colombia, honestly. I mean, not really advantage. I don't think much is going to change necessarily. I think they're feeling very confident. Probably Costa Rica is not feeling that good after getting smacked by a team they probably thought they had a pretty decent shot against. Which still might be true, maybe they just had an off game. But a game 1 like that can be very demoralizing, and vice versa, of course, for Colombia. It's pretty uplifting after getting smacked by Ecuador that hard yesterday. So it should be quite a decent advantage, at least mentally, for Colombia.
Just looking a little bit at the draft that they had in game number 1, and I think the biggest question mark for me is the Beastmaster. I feel like the Beastmaster has been the biggest question mark for both of us throughout the last month and a half, and why the teams here don't realize the strength of this hero. People keep trying to defeat it, and it's obviously not working out. So at this point, you can't let any of your opponents have Beastmaster, right? If you do, well, it will be perpetual repeats of what we saw and witnessed in game 1.
Yeah, I'm surprised that teams still don't just first pick it when they can. The fact that it just gets like 4th picked or something is really beyond me. I'm not entirely sure why. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Like, even USA last picked it yesterday. Maybe there's something I missed. But every time I see Beastmaster, the hero's owning very hard, enables your teammates to own very hard, and just an overall very solid hero. Of course, there are some weaknesses in lanes sometimes, but the fact that he is a very strong laner, he has 2 different laning styles, one is spam, one is summons, and he can easily farm ancients, or clear stacks in general, and scale really well into the mid-late game. It's just ridiculous. It's a very strong ridiculous. Typical Dota 2, let's buff the hero 200 times kind of combo. But at least he lost 10 damage on the drums now per second. Wow.
And some of the heal, right? He lost a little bit of the heal, but we saw how useless that nerf was, as he still pretty much annihilated the Roshan at minute 13, which is arguably the fastest, earliest Roshan we've gotten in any of the qualifiers this far, Black. So, what can I say? It's Beastmaster.
Beastmaster, indeed.
Beastmaster, indeed. Other heroes that obviously we had in that game number 1 have been Invoker, that's the Chaos Knight, but I feel like none of them actually impress me that much as on themselves, because the game was rolling in their favor, so the heroes just hit their timings and converted into victories. That work kid timing for the CK was just impeccable. He got it, I think, pre-minute 14, and then he got on top of the Pangolier every single team fight, and the Pangolier had no game, despite what was, like I said, a very ambitious draft, which I can respect from Costa Rica. I hope now they will try to keep some of their, approaches that they tried to have in game one, but emulate them in the second game with slightly easier picks to execute and bring together in order to have a successful team fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard though, because I don't know if it just was the draft or if they're also just individually, too good. Or Costa Rica, because we know Colombia, they were outmatched, of course, by Ecuador, but not completely lost until, somewhere minute 20 plus. So they might just be a little bit too good, There's also the other possibility that we know a really good team can make a decent team look like amateurs.
Yep.
So I don't want to say Costa Rica is bad. I'm just saying Colombia is actually really good. And I'm also saying that Ecuador is actually really, really good. Because Ecuador made Colombia look like absolute amateurs.
Which is very nice to see, as since the beginning of the qualifiers, all the way back in Africa, there have been a handful of teams that we've considered to be in that A+ S tier echelon, and I would argue that 9 of us have even spoken or thought about Ecuador being somewhere in that potential top 6 at the World Esports Championships. And after seeing them perform here today, I don't know if they're going to be top 5 short, but I think they should be aiming at least a top 8 if they can maintain their form well for the next couple of months before we get to Riyadh.
Yeah, can definitely happen, depending on how much they train, how seriously they take it. As we all know, every team has varying degrees of seriousness when it comes to these tournaments. If they practice a lot, and I don't think most of them have any other teams, do they, currently? Like active ones?
From Ecuador?
Yeah.
There are a couple of players that are on teams.
Okay, well, that's always a big problem, because it's very different from like your traditional World Cup, for example, like in football, where your team just basically doesn't practice, like you just join that national team and you practice together until the World Cup is over, and then it repeats again in 4 years. Whereas in Dota, you have your own team, right? You have your own team all the time. You can't just say, I don't want to play right now because I have to practice for my national team. Like, nobody will say okay to that.
Do you think the off season in Dota is a bit too short?
Off-season in Dota is a bit too short. What's the definition of off-season even nowadays?
So I would say that off-season is, let's look at traditional sports, right? In traditional sports, let's talk worldwide, not just America, because America has it a very strange one. They have a season that lasts 4 months and they have 8 months off. I think that's definitely overkill. But normally you have a season that starts somewhere halfway through August or beginning of September, and then you finish some point in mid to late June, and then you have about a month, 2 months and a half, depending on the sport, before you commence your next season. But in that period, you have time for a holiday, time to play for the national team tournaments, which could be the Euros, the World Cup, the Olympics, as we have this summer, and then 2, 3, 4 weeks of pre-season, right? In Dota, and I think Counter-Strike is a little bit similar here, you get, before when the TI used to be in August, then you had 4, maybe 5 weeks of off-season after that. But now that the international is at the beginning or midway through fall, I feel like there is not even an existent off-season. Teams are just trying to find holidays whenever, but you can't really do it if you're a team that qualified for TI, because you got to still practice for TI.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very hard to find not just time to practice if you have a very serious team that's like an actual contender for these big international tournaments, but also finding the permission from your teammates to do that, because most won't say yes. Because if they did, Nisha would have been playing for Poland, and Poland would probably be at IESF.
Of course.
So yeah, it's very tough honestly. That everything is so... I just wish that tournament organizers would give each other more space for these kind of events, you know? Okay, let's say IESF and Valve, for example, they schedule their tournaments around each other rather than right on top of each other.
Of course.
It would be like amazing, you know? And probably it would give more opportunity for a lot of those top players to actually join both of them. But unfortunately, as the past has shown many, many times, TI doesn't really care, you know? They just do it.
And you know, I've been recently gotten more and more into competitive chess, not as in playing, but as in following the scene. And one great example I can give you right now, there are two big tournaments in the chess world taking place. And one of them is an individual chess tournament that started about 2 weeks ago, but is taking a 3-week break for another team chess tournament. And I know I don't want to get into how you play chess in a team, but whatever. And they're taking a 3-week break because that tournament, you know, just they don't want to overlap and force the best players in the world to play 2 tournaments at the same time, one online and one on LAN. And I think that is something that actually esports as a whole could learn from.
I completely agree. As I said before, the fact that you just don't have time to do anything outside of your team it doesn't allow for these really strong teams to exist, unfortunately. Also, let's really say there was a big offseason, and this would be very much encouraged. Maybe we'll see all the tier 1 players from almost every team play. You know?
Yeah.
It's just, at this point, TI holds way too much prestige. You know, it might not be the biggest esports tournament anymore, because now we have this like esports World Cup, which has a ton of money in it, and it's just like a huge event, right? Like, it goes on for like over a month, but prestige-wise in Dota, like winning a TI is probably always going to be the most desirable achievement.
Well, I do hope that TI can still remain the prize, you know, the crown jewel, you could even say, of the whole Dota 2 circuit. But as things progress, there is a hope deep down in my heart that there will be space in the calendar at least once a year, if not more often throughout the year, for these national tournaments, because I feel like that would be a great step in, you know, towards developing esports as a role and taking it a bit more serious, just beyond the clubs or the orgs, and making your country proud. And, you know, we highlighted Nisha again in the European qualifier. He had 1 day off in the midst of his tier 1 tournament, and he still played for Poland, trying to help them qualify. But in the end, he couldn't do it for the 3rd and 4th day, which ended up with them being, you know, eliminated from that qualifier. So hopefully there will be space for the players in the future, and hopefully back, not in the too distant future.
Yeah, it would be nice. National tournaments, I mean, Olympics, all that stuff, it's just super fun to watch, you know, like, every time the Olympics are on, of course I have a certain number of sports that I follow personally that I really want to see, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. In fact, I think it's almost everyone. The Olympics are just randomly on, and there's this like weird 3-man basketball. I'm like, all right, what is that? That looks kind of interesting. I'm just gonna watch it, you know.
Yeah.
There's some what's it called? The thing with the brushes and the eyes, the curling. You know.
Curling.
It looks super fun. You know, like I don't follow it actively, but when the Olympics are on, I'm like, hell yeah, that's super fun. So what, for example, Rica is doing with the Esports World Cup, I think is amazing. You know, like you get so many different esports titles, and you're like, oh yeah, well, I don't really play Rocket League, but competitively, this game looks pretty damn badass. You know, like I don't mind watching this at all. So it just brings the whole esports community together, not just from one game, but from all games. And if you could bring that, you know, to more national tournaments, maybe even the Olympics. I think the Olympics signed some deal a while ago with some esports contracts. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but it would be amazing. Yeah, it would be amazing for esports, you know, not just for a single esports title, but the entire esports ecosystem, which is ultimately what we all want.
I like that we're dreaming. We're dreaming very far, Black, but you know,
Rome it's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen eventually. It's just when, you know. Exactly. Because I think we have the tools available and the resources available to make it happen much sooner. But that doesn't depend on us. We have to wait to see how all these different esports organizers and companies like push towards that happening. Because ultimately, we're just some guys talking about the game. You know, we don't have that power.
10 seconds.
Well, it has to start with us, right? I think everybody has to make our part. And like I wanted to say,
5
Rome wasn't
seconds
built in a
remaining.
day, Black, and you know,
Because I
step by
wasn't there.
step. Awkward.
I would have done in half a day.
I mean, you are German, of course. The German precision and efficiency is
Yeah, of course,
world-renowned. Absolutely.
Huh. That's right. I don't know how many Germans you know, but we can grow 2 more arms.
Dire team ban.
Sure.
Didn't know that, did you?
Uh,
Alright. So back to Hoodwink. First pick Weaver. Alright. Let's focus on Dota, man. Let's stop drifting off Dota, okay? Jeez.
yeah, you tell me. Yeah, goodness me, Vlad. Sorry. Yeah, apologies,
wow.
guys.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Add me on Twitter at
10
WaxandVlad
seconds
right now to tell us more feedback and about how you want to hear us talk about
5
these
seconds remaining.
very unusual picks. We have seen Hoodwink and Weaver 95% of the games, if not being banned. But I like this Weaver opening from Colombia. It's going to give them a bit of flex.
Dire team
It used to be
ban.
played as a 4 or 1, but most recently in the last 10 days or 2 weeks or so, it's mainly turned into a position 5 Weaver.
Got quite nerfed though. The fact that German Night Attack is not an init anymore makes it a lot weaker at level 2.
10
Still the same at
seconds
level 3.
Radiant team ban.
But yeah, we'll have to see. Because I think he might actually be one of the bigger losers of the patch. I don't know if the
What is-
win rates actually reflect that or not.
What's his new innate? Every time Weaver casts an ability, he gains 50 attack range for 6 seconds.
It's an interesting one.
10
Oh, I like
seconds
that. I think
remaining.
that's going to be quite a cool interaction with the Aghanim Shard, you know? He goes in, has
5
multiple targets, but also
seconds
has like further increased range. That's cool. Quite a curious one. Let's see if it will be a core, because otherwise, as a support Weaver, I feel like that innate doesn't really help you that much. Maybe with a bit of harass for the laning phase, but not throughout the mid and late game. Sanking and Bristleback being banned out. I think Costa Rica, as you can tell, banning 5 potential offlaners, even the Dragon Knight arguably can be played offlane, are singling out Isus, but they have yet to ban the Enigma or the Timber so that he likes to play sometimes.
Yeah, they're picking up the 2 supports already, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Well, I guess there is some flex potential, but I still don't think Hoodwink core is that good unless you're a
10
really
seconds
specialist.
remaining.
Same with Jakiro, it can work, but not the most stable.
5 seconds remaining.
Showing you 2 supports that early, like it gives them a lot more freedom to pick their cores.
Yeah.
'Cause now you know, like, most of the time a core matchup is good, or it's a good core pick if it's really good against both support heroes. So, for example, if the enemy team has like a Bane and a Shadow Shaman, you know Phantom Lancer is going to be an amazing hero. Because the supports can't deal with it. But Jakiro and Hoodwink, I mean, they cover a lot of bases, right? We know that. These heroes are
They're
very
quite
popular
safe.
for a reason. Yeah.
I mean, in the sense, Phoenix and
Dire
Clockwork
team pick.
were 2 supports that were very safe last game, but obviously in opposite teams. And the Rubik, great solid pick here. Surprised to see him ban? No, not at all. I am surprised by the Crystal Maiden ban, as Colombia is actually picking 3 great heroes that would completely destroy the Crystal Maiden. Tusk, Tiny, and I gotta tell you, Black, I have played a bit of Tusk today, actually, and versus Tusk, and his innate ability is just so strong, especially with the tag team. The slow, you can't move. He's just annihilating completely. Hoodwink and Jakiro have no chance of
5
laning versus a Tusk.
seconds
If he gets next to you, especially potentially with a Tiny as a position 3, you're done for.
Radiant team pick.
Drinking buddies. Tusk now cast drinking buddies, pulling him and the teammate closer and granting both.
Oh, Drinking Buddies is a meme. Drinking Buddies is a meme. I thought it was good in 736, but the way the tag team works since 737, Drinking Buddies
10
is
seconds
fallen
remaining.
off completely, in my eyes at least. Tag team is the way to go.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, tag team is the reason why you pick Tusk most of the time anyway. How does his innate ability scale? With what spell?
With tag team, I think.
Tag team? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
And the innate ability is pretty crazy. I mean, it's just movement. No, it's attack speed slow.
Yeah, so then for a hero like
Yeah.
Jakiro, who has a quite bad turn rate and the attack speed is bad, but now has double attack speed, it actually really annihilates him. And even versus a CK later on, if you can clear up the illusions with some splash damage coming in from the Weaver or the Tiny, then the CK gets kind of shut down. And it's one of those innate abilities that goes unnoticed, and then you're just wondering, why am I so slow when trying to kill someone? But the Mars here from Costa Rica. Wow.
Mars Hoodwink, pretty strong lane.
Absolutely.
I've seen it many times. Probably Tiny middle. I don't really expect to see too much Tiny carry anymore. It could be a Weaver carry as well, and a support Tiny. But a 5 Tiny isn't that good. Tusk Weaver though, you could do a 5 Tusk. I guess it's still pretty open. But yeah, Mars Hoodwink, Chaos and Jakiro. The draft looks pretty good. I like it a lot better than the first game draft. And, oh wow, I just realized they first banned the Beastmaster. Surprise, surprise.
Also, Colombia banned the Ember, so those are the two heroes that we actually talk a lot about. Now I don't like that we have Hoodwink Jakiro, because I feel like with CK Mars, having the opportunity to have the Phoenix this time around would have been much better. But speaking of heroes from last game, Colombia is actually going to steal the Pangolier for themselves.
It's a pretty fantastic Pangolier game. None of these heroes can really do too much against it. And it still keeps everything completely open. Yeah, I don't know. Colombia draft is, it's not bad, of course. It's just a little weird. I guess just Dota in general has become very interesting. If you look at this draft and you think back a couple of years, they would be like, what the hell is this abomination, you know? But nowadays, it's actually considered quite strong.
Yeah, and of course it's a new patch, right? So teams are still trying to figure stuff out and what works well with each other. But I think there is a lack of synergy to some extent here, as you get the Ice Shards and the Rolling Thunder. Obviously not as difficult to play around as you get with the Hogs. But if you have an expert Pangolier player, he can take advantage of the Ice Shards and bounce in and out and around. But you can also get stuck in very unconventional spots, right? So let's see how the Colombian squad will execute that. Also, we don't quite know how they're going to lane this, because they have a lot of flex potential, with the first 3 heroes being able to play both as cores and support, and Pangolier, of course, mid or off.
Yeah, but what is the task actually picked for? Is my question. Because the tag team isn't that amazing with the heroes they have right now. But of course, as we said, the attack speed slow is pretty damn amazing. Maybe it's just the hero you can pick nowadays without a great combo, and it will just be very impactful regardless. Maybe it's gonna even be a Cortez.
I think Tusk plus a range would be oppressive as hell. Even Tusk plus Tiny, I'm telling you, I think Ice Shards into Avalanche, and then just nothing for you to do. You get right-clicked to death by these melee heroes. So I think Tusk has a place here, and if he's going on what I assume will be the offlane, versing the CK plus whatever support he has by his side, it's not going to be a good time.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, having 20 attack speed slow level 1 is pretty ridiculous. And just as an aura. Does Snapfire
Mid.
Shredder work with Tusk?
Everything works with Tusk. It doesn't amplify.
Attack speed now.
It doesn't amplify the little Shredder damage or whatever, but the slow procs are still there. So yes.
Are you sure it doesn't? Because there's attack damage in it now.
Oh, does it? Well, that's even worse. Because I thought that's broken as is with the proc of the tag team, but if it's in amplified damage as well,
I have to check it now.
Get out of here. Get out of the lobby. Go find that out for us, as Costa Rica has the overall last pick, and this could be the final hero they get to pick in this qualifier. Hopefully, they're going to come up with something nice to round out the draft, and it's going to be the Timber Saw. We've been speculating that Isus for Colombia will be the one to play it, but it's going to be Ryu playing Timber Saw into a lot of beefy boys of Colombia. Pango, Tusk, Tiny. Also, there's a lot of burst potential there for killing Mapu's Weaver. I think Costa Rica has come up with a pretty solid draft, and I wanted them to be a bit more cohesive with easier stuff to execute, right? Mars Arena, Macropire, Timber Chain with Whirling Death. It's kind of easy to hit, so I like what they've got here. And Colombia has a very strange draft with a tiny mid and a support Tusk Snapfire combo.
That is... Huh. Wait, so the Tusk and Snapper supports? And the Tiny's middle? I assume? Well, anyway, I tested it and it doesn't work. Unfortunately. Even though I really think it should work. Let me just load back into the game real quick.
I told you, I didn't think it works either, so...
Yeah, but it should. Also, it has attack damage on it. Bug.
I think it counts it as attack damage per hero right click, not as attack damage per proc by spells, because then otherwise it would work with things such as Stifling Dagger from the Phantom Assassin, which would, let's be realistic, be completely broken, right?
How is completely broken any surprise to any Dota player at this point?
I mean, yeah, I didn't say it would be surprising. I said it would just be broken.
I'm just saying, yeah, but there's so many completely broken things in Dota nowadays that having one more or less wouldn't really, you know, break the camel's back. But level 25 Hoodwink though. Some of these people, they have a lot of really high level heroes. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, and I think having a Hoodwink, you know, it's one of those fun supports. Not like the Venomancers we got, I believe, 2 or 3 Grandmaster Venos we had in this past couple of qualifiers, which says a lot about some of these players, if you know what I'm saying. But we are gonna hop into the game in just a moment as we take a look at the facets. The Snapfire went for the full bore, extended length in the Scatterblast. Arbolo went still for the crash landing on the Tusk mid, which I think is a strange one, since it got so heavily nerfed. Tag team as predicted for the Tusk, and a Skitter Step for the Weaver. Also, this time around, Black, we're gonna go back for the Liquid Frost on the Jakiro, not the Liquid Fire that we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's still way better. I don't like Liquid Fire that much. It's okay, but compared to Liquid Frost, it's really not that good. And then we're gonna have probably +5 Tusk. I mean, Tusk Weaver is an insanely strong lane.
That is gonna be so hard to play into.
Yeah. Wait, is Timber still disconnected? Yeah. I was like, why aren't they pausing?
He's back in. That was a quick one.
And then we have Snapfight Tiny. Dota's dropping players randomly. Really?
Yeah.
Tranquilo, my friends.
I think it's Tranquise, isn't it?
I think Tranquilo is... I don't even know what language it is. It's definitely a language, but I don't know which one.
It's definitely what? A language? Okay, yeah. No, Tranquilo means relax. I mean, chill kind of type of idea. Like, there's no issue here with that. It's fine. They're understanding. Which is great to see. Some fair play from the players, of course. I don't think Colombia would want to finish this group stage with a default loss due to connection issues, as they're playing well. And, you know, playing 2 games to warm up for what is going to be their playoff game later today is, I mean, that's the way to go, basically.
If it is going to be 2 games. Also, I think the Radiant draft is actually very competitive. And...
Well, it could be 2 more games then, not just 2 games.
Yeah, but I could also not win. You know, that would be pretty tragic for them, of course. And we have the CK coming through the... Wow. Roche also came and said hello to Mr. CK.
Look at down bottom. Pangolier and Snapfire are actually placing a very aggressive Observer Ward. That is going to allow them to first try to hunt some couriers early on, and now the body block forcing the CK to play under the tower, but the CK does expect that, and he will also pull the creeps. No, he doesn't pull. What? He literally went to meet the creeps, but he didn't pull them away from the tower. That's kind of strange.
Well, he tried, but no chance. 2 people blocking is a little bit too strong. Stun the Pango, but it's not gonna do anything. Now top lane should be the action lane. Oh yeah, we see shots already.
And this is gonna be, look at this, Thorai already below half HP. Surprising to see shards level 1, but yeah, Camus will get level 2, and I think that's when Thorai will have struggled to actually lane here.
Yeah, the Germinate attack plus Tusk is of course very strong. Ooh, that was a cushy. Now I don't know, they have a sentry ward down.
I mean, they have one
the
by the camp.
Coming. Yep.
If they can protect the sentry ward that they block the camp here, that would be pretty big, and they can't. Camus just goes and knocks it down in 2 hits. Shiri didn't even attempt anything there to stop him. What do you think about this mid lane, by the way?
I mean, Timber's also gonna free farm. Tiny should also free farm though. Mid lane is really not that interesting nowadays. Like, unless somebody is severely better than the other player, or it's a very unfair matchup, it's usually just a farm trade. Because how strong bottle is, and water runes, bounty runes. There's just too many runes to refill bottle with.
I think that's probably one of the big changes that has happened in Dota over the years that I would like to revert. When mid used to just be such a difference of skill matchup, it mattered how good your mid laner was at laning. But up top, we see the action happening, and they're trying to get on top of Shiri. That's probably going to be the first blood, but Mapu is actually getting punished there. Oh, miss
hit
from the Scurry, and now they're turning around. Camus is gonna pay with his life. Bushwhack connects, and the Weaver's gonna come in with the skitter step and gonna get the kill with the Germinate attack. Nice Spirit Lance, and now 1v1. Mapu has the stick charges. Thorai has to fall back as the right-click trade is not going in his favor versus the Swarm plus Germinate. Mapu playing with fire there, baiting to dive the tier 1. That could have been punished by Thorai, so he just steps back.
Now, also the protecting the Lotus. That's a pretty big deal. The first Lotus usually. Very interesting. I didn't know that's how the Hoodwink facet worked, or innate ability.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, yeah, it's been like that for a while.
You can redirect an attack to a tree.
Yes.
50%
like
chance is also so lucky that you got that.
Since 736, sometimes you see it happen back to back, like there's 2 right clicks that get redirected, and that is very, very annoying. Speaking of annoying, the hero CK is a very annoying lane to have to play versus when you're the Snapfire, and now Aldana gets sent back to base, and Costa Rica has the start of the game that they wanted.
Yeah, a much better draft this time around as well. So they're doing very well for themselves. This definitely shouldn't be a one-sided game. Oh wow, it's a lot of nuke damage on top. Tusk is not that convincing yet, I gotta admit.
Well, when you lose the first blood because your attacks get redirected, it's not that much you can do about that, right?
Yeah, but just in general, this lane is quite difficult because Tusk can't really harass them. They have to just go and hope that they can kill them, because they're just getting nuked down slowly. Oh, here we go.
Up top, the pressure is ensuing, the action is unfolding, and Shiri is running actually towards the Dire Tower to try to get out of there and trying to kill the Swarm. One more right click, they'll get the job done. Nice Spirit Mars. Keep Mapu out of the lane, but Shiri should die here, and look at Camus just creating the vision, allowing the Weaver to get the kill.
Oh, Penguin's burning, got a stick though. Baits him in. Nice.
And now they're going for more action up top. Thorai gets caught by the Ice Shard. Spear of Mars for reposition will allow him to get out of there safely, but a disaster took place bottom as the CK died.
Nice little double kill for the Snapfire, and Pango got a double bracer, of course. Look at the HP of the Pango there, 1100, man. Oh, nice rotation from Shiri though.
This is going to be good. Nice connection of the Chaos Ball. 2 seconds onto Isus. He has no way of getting out of there, and 4-3-3. It's the kill on the CK.
The Weave on top also getting quite low. Nice harassment. Mid lane, they literally can't kill anything until... Yeah, I don't know. Tiny's too tanky, Timbersaw too tanky. Shiri's here as well, though.
They do have level 6 with a Timbersaw. There's a lot of damage, strength damage. Oh, Arbolito actually turns around to get the Arcane one. That might have been way too confident from here. Arbolito, 2 right clicks away from falling, and Ryu is gonna get it with the Chakram. Okay, I think Arbolito was safe if he didn't go for the Arcane rune there.
It depends on whether they can dodge the Chakram or not. Yeah, that's the power of Timbersaw. 1 Q and you're suddenly just dead. Oh my gosh.
No, that's the power of a caster curse. You just said he can't die. He didn't follow to die. Now Ryu goes for Kamuda. Oh, TP from Tiny is not gonna be there in time. They're trying with the Snapfire, a Scatterblast, Avalanche, and Timber does fall. But still, it's a 2-for-1. The tips are coming in as a moral damage, but I think Ryu is more than happy with that one.
Yeah, but dying for support task, of course, never feels good.
But he did kill the Timber before, right? So that's what I mean. It's kind of a 2-for-1.
Yeah, but then, you know, he just dove a little bit too deep. Thought he had it, but didn't. Now Tiny's level 7, actually. And he's gonna rotate bottom within a Cane Rune. Crash landing still hurts, even though it got nerfed. It's still very painful.
Yeah, of course, especially at the early levels of the other heroes that don't have enough strength built up at this point.
Here we go! And you're dead.
Hey, thankfully it's only the Jakiro if you're a Costa Rican fan, as 433 was made aware of that rotation due to a beautiful placed Observer Ward in the Radiant jungle. So, only a support dying, 4 players bottom. It's a bit of an overcommit actually from Colombia. But they're going to try to convert a tier 1 actually, and I don't think there will be any attempts. Nice fortify to nullify some of that cost damage landing to heal there. Okay. They will protect the tier 1 bottom.
Yeah, they need to prioritize the level 6 of the Pango. Then he can start making some plays. Haste from top.
Nice.
Nice.
Arena. Here? Where's the spear? There we go at the very... Holding it! Wow. I thought Thorai might have missed it before we saw the action, and then Mapu gets obliterated. That was some very nice usage of the abilities up top.
Very much needed as well. Now the CK is in trouble again, though, and disconnected, and he's dead.
Yeah, there's no TPs coming in to help him. Even if there were, he's too far removed from the tower, so... What was 433 even thinking about here?
Well, he probably just disconnected, right? Or maybe he was actually fighting the...
I think he was fighting and he disconnected mid-fight.
Yeah, maybe. But he did use all his spells, and he doesn't really have much more, so... I don't know if he thought he wanted to fight or not. But he's back, and he probably doesn't like what he's seeing right now.
Do you like what you're seeing, Black?
Yeah. I think I'm seeing a dead CK. I wouldn't let him run.
Well, what a surprise. 433 does fall. Although he did try to turn around with a couple of very nice Chaos Balls, as he has 3 points in, Chaos Strikes in it. Could have maybe gotten a bit more heal out of that. But all this time, the tier 1 tower gets pressured up top. It should be actually safe lane tower trade, as there's a lot of Dire Heroes bottom as well. But they're coming through the Twin Gate. Look at the Rolling Thunder. The Bushwhack, Mapu away from connecting. The kisses are flying in, and the Mars dies at the feet of 5 Dire Heroes. Still offlane Jakiro to support. That was a massive rotate.
Very well worth it though to protect the tower. Map awareness is everything. Map control is everything at this point in the game. Yeah, nice rotation from the Pangoli as well. He can just go back through the gate. How's Mapu doing quite far away from his Maelstrom?
I mean, he just died, right, to that pretty nice chain stun sequence off top from the Mars Arena and the Spear just before this skirmish at about minute 8. So that's why his progress has been halted. As for some reason, we're looking at buybacks right now. For not the most important statistical aspect at minute 9, but who knows, right? If there's a tower under a fight under a tower, a couple of buybacks could turn it around. I'm looking at the net worth instead. where Ryu on this Timbersaw is actually leading the network chart.
Probably at the easiest lane in the game as well against a Tiny as a Timbersaw. Not really too much pressure he can give you there. Yeah, he'll definitely be the one who has to pull his weight. He also has a haste room bottled. So hasted Timbersaw is very scary for the Dire lineup for sure.
The G's are in the chat, and no, it's not the G's, it's the go. We ready, baby. Let's see who is gonna have the next movement around the map. As yes, despite that rotation up top for the kills, they still didn't finish the tower bottom, Black, and that's why the Pangolier took the Twin Gate back down again to see if he and the Timbersaw, and the Tiny can actually set up to finally finish off the tower, because it feels like they've been trying to kill it for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of big rotations towards the tower, but as I said before, these tier 1 towers are really, really important for map control. Once you take them down, it gives you a lot more access to the enemy jungle, to steal their farm and make it your own. It's still quite healthy though. Who do we have coming here? Tiny again. He really loves that bot lane. But if you see a rotation there from the Timber with that haste room, it could be very scary.
If you could rename one hero in Dota, what hero would you rename, and what would you rename it to?
Let's see.
Well, while Black is pondering one of the simplest questions I think I've asked him in my life, we see Camus being sent back to Fountain to, reconsider his options. Why was he so deep? Why was he playing in the river in the mid lane? But now that allows Aldana to be feeling quite safe behind his tier 1 tower, as they can't get on top of him with no arena.
Oh, so what do you mean by easy question? How's this an easy question? Give me your answer then.
I'm the one with the questions, not the one with the answers. It's not how the game works.
See? You also can answer because it's not easy.
I would rename Gyrocopter.
What? Eggman?
Fine, that's good enough. I'll take that. Maybe we'll need to find some replacement for Egg so we don't get sued by Sega, but yeah, sure.
What
What about something like Hilly Man? Healy Man.
Sure, or Bowling Ball?
Wouldn't you change the name of Tusk to Bowling Ball, maybe? Or Cannonball?
Pango, probably.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, Cannonball. That's good. That is actually really good. As we have Costa up top. Actually, Swarm does not connect, but it doesn't matter. The damage is more than enough.
Ooh,
Even without the armor reduction, he has a Sharpshooter. He's going to be fine. Getting onto the low ground and pause! I feel like we're playing Counter-Strike right now. There's a piece of action, and then you get freeze time before the next round.
Yeah, some, what's it called? What is the pre-round called in CS? Like economy time or something?
It's freeze time.
When you're buying stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, freeze time?
I swear it's called freeze time. Isn't it freeze time?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was like round preparation time or something.
Strategy time. That sounds like some other developer. Well, back in 1.6 it used to be freeze time, so I just assume it kind of stuck to it, although you're not really frozen anymore. No. Yes, you are. Yeah, you are frozen. Yeah, it is freeze time. What am I talking about? You're frozen for 15 seconds when you buy your guns and whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Your equipment. I was tiny looking with the blink. Wow, the Masters ran up.
I want to see what's happening bottom, actually, as 433 is trying to get on top of Isus, but he finds a pocket of shadow in the trees and now gets the Rolling Thunder, and the turnaround is here. 433 tries to dance around the Cannonball Man, and he'll be fine, despite the Scatter Blast of Snapfire actually doing some cheap damage to him.
How would we call CK?
The Minotaur? Does he ride it? Does CK have legs? Not as in the horse. Does like the knight? Does knight have legs?
Yeah. He's an actual.
He's an actual knight riding a horse.
I think so. I don't know what his lore is, but I think it's a human guy that was converted to demon.
No, I feel like Chaos Knight is like an elemental. CK is something like Enigma, like quite a big deal.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he's like one of the elemental overlords or whatever.
Yeah. Which doesn't really make sense if you look at the character design compared to Enigma, which I'm like, yeah, I could get behind that. This makes sense to me. CK elemental, not sure.
It reminds me of this one game. What's it called? Where the main character is war. You play like the 4 horsemen.
The 4 horsemen, okay, yeah. The horsemen of the apocalypse or something like that.
Yeah, why not?
433 is farming very well on the Chaos Knight, but I feel like the Orchid Rush we saw from Colombia last map might have actually been more impactful, as right now he is still about 2.2k gold away from having it in his inventory, so it might be a bit annoying, but he's hopefully gonna get it and then try to find a kill onto the Weavers and the Pangolier.
Well, Weaver might have... Nah, Metastar is still quite far away. And not as significant of a lead as it was in last game, but still the lead is slowly building. Tiny has Blink Dagger available now. Tusk finally reached level 6 as well. Mech already up on Snapfire. They pretty much have all the pieces they need in order to aggress onto the enemy. Maelstrom up. Pipe pretty much up as well. Yeah, I think it's go time.
I like he pivoted back to the mech, because I think Aldana had the Pipe as his quick buy, and of course, you know, Pipe is considerably more expensive, and it would have taken way more time for him to have it. But this Snapfire is massively farm black, 600 ahead of the opponent's offlaner of the Mars.
I don't know if that makes me, feel good for the Snap or really bad for the Mars. He's not really having a game, right? They're finding the CK. Nah, almost got the shot.
Obo does continue. They have the kisses if they want to throw them in. The Walrus Punch comes in. Reality of Thunder Tower. The Blink is here from Arbolito. And now 433 got a bit too overconfident. And now he will fall as Dodgy Rat also gets caught by this Pangolier. The Cookie will be there to actually reposition Arbolito on top of the corpse of the double-headed dragon.
And look at that. 8-1 Hoodwink. Grief's already done at minute 14. It's kind of ridiculous. Same farms the CK basically.
Wait, Hoodwink? No, Snapfire.
Snapfire, yeah.
You said Hoodwink.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I think you just looked at Hoodwink.
Yeah, of course.
Good.
This Hoodwink is actually not that far from his Maelstrom. Sadly, he will probably die here. And Mapu is relentless in this pursuit. Tried to scurry in the tree line, but the Swarm damage and the right clicks with the new innate ability is actually very overwhelming. As in mid, we have 4 players on top of Ryu, who manages to Timber Chain nicely in the gap onto the high ground and escape that.
Can't really afford to bleed off any more heroes at this point. Mid tower, they should try to defend it, but against Mech and Greaves it's so incredibly difficult because they don't have either of these items. I actually don't know the team fight right now, they're just lacking items. And nobody's building auras for them. Well, I guess the Jakiro is, but he's pretty poor.
Oh, look at the Blink being blind from the Tiny, actually gonna get on top of the Mars, who pops the arena, but there's no follow-up, and he falls. And now they're just diving for more. They want to go under the tier 2. Cookie on top of the Jakiro. Desirat gets decimated. And the Tusk might have overstepped his welcome, but he now does fall. And Avalanche Toss finally Bushwhack to get him away, but the Team Chain doesn't get him out to safety. And the Weaver is diving in, gonna get a double kill as Mapu ends the life of 4 Radiant heroes.
Yeah, gets the Maelstrom proc. And now the game, it's pretty much what we see every time right now. It's a pretty even early game, but then the better team just knows exactly what to do in the mid game, how to move, where to initiate, and what objectives to take. Now suddenly 9k lead again, like out of nowhere. The laning phase this time around was really good for the Radiant. Well, not really good, but good enough. Yeah, they definitely had a 5-5 fighting chance, right? But now they just can't find the correct moves.
They don't have it anymore as they're getting outran, outpaced, and outplayed across multiple portions of this mid-game black. And you really need this Orchid. You gotta get it, but he's actually falling so far behind as Mapu is almost 2,000 gold ahead of him with a full Gleipnir.
Has it now, though. So the Orchid is out. It's gonna be a really important one. They need to find some important kills with that one. Tusk almost blinked there, though, so he has saving potential. Oh, find the Hoodwink? No.
They need to kill the Penguin and the Weaver. These are the targets that you gotta get on top of.
They're also incredibly tanky. And as I said, Tusk almost blinked there, so he can save them, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Orchid, I feel like, could have been slightly better if you would have just rushed it, as we saw from Mapu in game 1.
No, he actually also went for the armlet. I think almost everybody goes for the armlet. It's just good value on that hero. And
now the Hoodwink gets caught.
Nice. Yep. Easy
Well,
peasy.
Then Mapu just had a...
Dude, he had armlet at minute 6 or something. He was...
Okay, that's why he had
insanely
Orchid in
fun.
minute 14. I see,
Yeah.
okay. He had that Orchid so fast that I assumed it just purchased it first. So, Arena going for a team fight, and they're getting Tiny on the edge. Nice turnaround, but the Cookie gets Tiny out in the mech, and now look at the Gleipnir and the Rolling Thunder, Avalanche Costa, and they're all dead. As Aldana on the support Snapfire is now godlike. Shapiro will be the last to fall, as Colombia gets a full team wipe.
Well, that's pretty much it. Congratulations for qualifying into the... Well, playoffs, I guess. Because you can't recover from this. There's no feasible way to recover from this. They have no auras. Like, if they didn't have mech and pipe there, they would lose that fight. But because of the itemization, which is brilliant, by the way. I know everybody does it, and it's not, like, particularly spectacular, but it's what's needed, you know? And not everybody does it. Again, I can't really fault
jump,
them.
like you said, Black. Like, that was such a great jump, right? And of course, the Snapfire didn't go for completing the pipe because they have the Pangolier that went for it. And when you have Greaves' pipe, all of the burst initial damage got nullified instantly, right? They didn't even manage to kill a single Colombian hero.
And now the free Roche with the double minus armor, triple minus armor even. Funnily enough, the hero that would actually make it the fastest, the Tusk. Whoa, okay, he's out of there. Nice blink. Roshan dropping very low, they're still chasing the Tusk, nice snowball.
He's buying so much time. He's making so much space, and the Ice Bat is not even going to be on target now. Reality Rift is going to be a bit too late. Oh my god, the blink forward! He's going for it, but so is the Tiny. In the front line, Tiny might have overstepped his welcome. He does get melted by the Timber Chain and, of course, the CK. But no, the pipes are coming in, and he buys just a little bit more time. Now, 2-for-1 trade into the Aegis. They're trying to get on top of the Weaver. Nice Chaos Bolt connecting, and the Weaver is going to lose the Aegis. Timbersaw has to come in and help the CK, but now the buyback coming in from the Hoodwink. They need to help this Timbersaw, who's getting isolated between 3 heroes. Nice Timber Chain to the low ground. CK keeps getting chased by the Weaver. But the Hoodwink is here. They can get a couple of stuns onto either of these heroes. They do have the burst damage. They spot Mapu. Nice dust. Bushwhack connects. Sharpshooter. But where is the follow-up? There is an Orchid there, but the kisses are coming in, and you can kiss your life goodbye, says Aldana, as Ryu is the sole core standing. The Mars has respawned. It's trying to join up again with the team, with the Arena. Fight continues. The skirmish is not over just yet.
Oh, Ryu going for the rune. Is that very wise? Okay, there's no punishment coming. Timber also would have died actually, but the full board just barely missed. Would have been a disaster for the Radiant again, but the way it went, it's probably... They definitely didn't win out on it, but it could have been much worse.
I think they won, right? You lost what? You did force a Hoodwink buyback, but you killed Weaver. They already lost the Aegis. You started after they already had the Aegis. I actually think that was a very good team fight for Costa Rica.
It was good, but ultimately the gold numbers don't lie, and they are even further behind now because of all the Roshan gold and objective gold. Can you do the Tormentor here? No, he's just kind of getting zapped. What is the Weaver doing?
In what sense?
He was standing next to the Tormentor for like 20 seconds.
Oh, he was waiting for a teammate.
Well, can't do it, says screw that. No, Pango says no, don't screw that. Come here, we'll do it.
Yeah,
he might die. I think he might die. He might die.
No, they have Greaves, don't worry. He'll be fine. There we go, see. And now Aldana's gonna get the kiss on top of the Cookie. But you know, I'm looking at the net worth chart, and it's incredible that this Snapfire is about 1,000 net worth away from being second in net worth. And she doesn't even go for the greedy build. She went for the Greaves and now Ags, not one of these funky, you know, Maelstrom position 4 snaps that sometimes we see, especially in my pubs when I play the Snapfire.
Well, they have their own merit, you know. They make the game a little bit more fun, and does makes it more relaxing to be in those kind of games. You know, there's not so much stress.
Even like skill build wise, Black, look, he went for the like crass classic build. The more often recently we've been seeing the 1-1-4. Right now, at this moment in time, has yet to max out Lil Shredder.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A pretty common support build, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is classic, but I think like in the last month or so, we've seen people max out Shredders.
If they get the Snapfire.
He's dead, he's dead.
1,700 gold, Jesus Christ.
He had a 10 kill streak. That is incredible. She's the most kills on the map, 10 to and 13 assists. Wow. So she was 0-1 and then went 10-1 before dying again.
Yeah, that was a huge kill. And they're still smoking up, fighting without her even. She respawns in 20, so probably won't miss out the fight completely.
But the Pangolier is not here, Black. Didn't he... Okay, he's TPing at the tier 2. There is a lot of separation between the Costa Rican players. CK is running away, but what are Thorai and Shiri doing here? I don't think this is a good position. Look at Arbolito just jumping on top of them, catching to the arena. Is gonna stop, but Isus can just roll through it, and they're gonna set sights on both of the supports. The Jakiro died already, and it's gonna be Mapu getting the double kill as Shiri falls.
Luckily, he didn't lose any core, so that's good. But yeah, the gold lead is just widening and widening. Weaver, BKB already completed. And CK is also going for BKB, but that's the thing with CK. If you have to go for BKB, your illusions are always gonna die because there's too much spread damage. So yeah, if you're forced into BKB as a CK, I feel like it's always a very, very, very bad spot that you're in.
I think CK BKB is great, but maybe as a 4th item, not as a 2nd item.
I don't know, it just doesn't synergize with the hero. It's like PL getting BKB. You know, like you don't want to. Sometimes you have to. But if you have to, the game is probably not great for you.
Yeah, it's probably not going in your favor, of course.
Yeah, CK wants to just build stats if he can. Mobility.
Some strength more than the others, I guess.
Well, 16k lead now, and they're gearing towards the bottom.
What's the win rate probability looking like?
You asking DOTA Plus? I don't know.
It's 74%.
Only. That's pretty generous.
Yeah. I actually think it's quite fair. I think Costa Rica still has a pretty good chance in this game. The fact that there is no Aegis for Colombia makes me actually more of a believer here as well. As we've seen them, if they can actually kite Colombia long enough and hit some of their spells together, Costa Rica can burst every single hero on the Dire side. It's just, there's a lot of ifs, right? Like kiting the opponents and then chaining the spells and then cutting the losses and disengaging. That's you gotta accomplish all these tasks before you come on top of some of these engagements. But look at the mass TP stop. You want to get on top of someone, and I think the CK is the one they have sights on.
It's BKB though, if they don't stun him right away.
Gleipnir, no more TP out.
God.
He's not even gonna use the BKB, he's just dead.
Yeah, it's the worst case scenario. Already having used your TP, you can't even BKB TP out.
Well, I guess he didn't waste the BKB, that would have been slightly worse, right?
Yeah, but you know, if they went on him just a little bit earlier, he was just BKB TP'd, so the patience was really nice. And they see the Jakiro now as well. Here's a mech. Throw him in. That's far. Can you guess where he went? Can you guess where he went? Left or right? Left or right? Ankle
No,
broken?
it's too deep. It's too deep. Elsewhere on off-stream, United States have actually already defeated Venezuela 2-0, so we are now confirmed that the winner of this match on your screen will be facing USA for their second qualifying slot for World Esports Championships.
Mm-hmm.
The prophecy came through, Black. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't that surprising. Oh no, BKB
Trying to
tiny,
get a
take a
turn.
lot of damage. Oh,
A lot of
slow
damage. The
save.
Reality Rift outside of Ice Path might not be ideal. Now they're trying to turn their sights onto Mapu. Has the BKB gets out of the arena, but the arena is separating a lot of that team fight. Now the Rolling Thunder is very oppressive. Reality Rift to pull him back in, but look at the chain stun
my
coming in from the
God.
Bangalore, and the kisses are just burning to every single player. CK still tries to fight the Weaver, very low in HP, now has to try to go out of there, but no more BKB, no more HP, and now it's sole 2 supports of the Radiant trying to deal some damage, trying to punish some of the overstepping of Colombia. There is 5x available, but they're not going to use them now. Finally, CK a TP in, gonna get on top of the Pangolier. He's very beefy, does have a swashbuckle to get out of it in just a second. The Locust not gonna even be needed as the Cookie pushes him from the high ground to the low ground.
Yep, and rocking a casual 40 health region on the Pangolier. No problem. No problem whatsoever. That's ridiculous. And yeah, if you're wondering why is Pango still being picked so much, perfect example right there. Again. Yeah. He has done it multiple times this game.
He's set up so nicely for the kisses of the Snapfire, and we kind of talked a bit about how difficult the attempt from Costa Rica to do something similar in game 1 was, Rolling Thunder for the Phoenix Supernova. Well, this time around, Isus is just making a statement on this hero.
Definitely playing very well on it. Oh, Shiri. Rolling. Can you find him? Oh, he definitely saw that one.
Oh, the Blink Dagger. If it wasn't for the Blink... Oh, Shiri's still trying, but the Glide near, it doesn't matter how elusive you are. And now the Snowball on top of the Swarm with the Walrus punch out of the map. Luckily for Costa Rica, Shiri will respawn in time to potentially contest the next Roshan.
It's a very quick one, though. It better be ready as soon as possible, because otherwise Roshans are going to die in seconds. Good news is that it will be on their side. Bad news is that Timbersaw might be in a little bit of trouble, but...
There's an Invis rune.
Yeah, it should be fine.
He also has 4.4k that he has yet to spend.
Why isn't he buying like a plate mail or something, at least? Instead of the Iron Branch.
You think he's trying to get... He's trying to get on our scoreboard at the end of the game, that the player with the most money in their inventory.
Or the ATM?
Yeah. Well, the piggy bank is here, and it's a walking, talking, damage-dealing piggy bank. It's Mapu, the top net worth hero on the map. Actually, not gonna get the kill there. He's gonna have to force his own BKB to get out of there safely, and that is a nice, small victory for the Radiant.
How many of those do they need though? Like 100?
Well, at least 27 more.
Yeah, or 28.
26.
Yeah, that could work. No, but in all seriousness, I don't know how they can realistically really win, because it's gonna be a Roshan with banner. And once the banner is up, the glyph won't matter anymore.
I think the Daedalus on the Hoodwink will be the next big power spike.
That would be... Wait, he's actually going for it again. Oh my god, it's a different player, but he's doing the same thing.
Oh my god, oh, look at that. That is a cool interaction. Tossed up in the air and then punched, sent to the gods in the sky. Shuri's progress towards the Daedalus will be slowed down even further as the second Roshan will fall, like you mentioned. Banner ages collected by Colombia, and they're gonna probably gonna try at least their hand at high ground.
Might also wait for the Daedalus on the Weaver. Pretty close to that. Any other power spikes coming up? Nope.
The Pango has a full axe.
Of course. 2.6k health, no problem. It's a pretty disgusting hero, what can I say?
I'm looking at like...
Wait, what is this talent, man? -4 lucky shot armor reduction? Seriously? -13 armor from this thing?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Come on, Black. People have been talking about how broken this is for like months now.
What is he doing? Like, why? Minus 13 armor, why?
Dire's top
Hashtag broken. Hashtag nerf him. Hashtag remove Pango from my games. Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag.
It's more than 2 Desos.
Well, if you put it that way, that makes me hate it even more. They're pinging the hoodwink.
Oh, wow, the Daedalus Hoodwink down there. Oh, wrong direction. Didn't get her.
Oh, there's a full amplified damage on Arbolito. Oh my goodness. Shiri will get out of there safely for now. He's actually getting closer and closer to a Crystallis, which will be a nice power spike in the damage from the Radiant. But what is a Crystallis to a Weaver Daedalus? That is the question.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Who's now whacking your tower? How are you gonna kill him? There's so much support behind him. Oh, the banner's here. Banner's here. Creeps are mortal. Dun, 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 dun.
Banner as in Bruce Banner, the Hulk.
Of course,
They're even
yeah.
using Fortify. They're using the Fortify to buy enough time to actually finish this first set of racks. Bottom, Arbolito even using his amplified punches without the tree grab to get the melee. And now they're rotating mid. CK and actually Timbersaw are pushing around the map quite nicely, trying to cut the waves and create more space, burning through more and more of this Aegis timing. But the creeps are invading the base from bottom and they're blinking forward. They want to get on top of these Mars. Is actually to get away, and now the Timbersaw going very aggressive. BKB out and Mars Arena, but there's nothing he catches as everybody is immune to his walls. And look at the damage. Mapu very low in HP, and he will fall in the first line. Has the Aegis. Mars with the buyback now. Ajira tries to get out of there, tries to dodge the kisses. BKB out from the Weaver, and somehow Costa Rica's managed to hold just barely with a couple buybacks. They really need to get a kill for the trouble. The Timber Chain does not connect, and neither does the Spear of Mars. And Arbolito, Avalanche toss 1, 2, 3, Walrus Punch, and the Cookie to chain stun every single one of them. The cores are just melting, and Colombia with one step closer to making it to Riyadh. I think it's nothing else that Ryu can do. He falls again. Jakiro, Hoodwink are just looking at 5 hungry Colombians coming for their base.
Not a whole team wipe yet. Now it is. And that is pretty much gonna be the GG. Not called out yet. Maybe still digesting the loss, but this game is all but over. Congratulations to Colombia, who will be playing the United States. And Ecuador will be playing Venezuela.
Good luck next. Very nice fair play from Costa Rica, who put up a much better showing on stream today, especially in this game too. It was sadly not made yet to be for them and their country in this Dota 2 qualifier. But Colombia, what a statement, Black. They have shown up to play today, and that makes me very excited for their qualifying match later on in just a couple of hours versus the United States. I hope that they can keep a candle to the dominating force that the USA has been in this qualifier.
It's gonna be tough, but okay, we have to be realistic, right? So United States are probably not as good as Ecuador. I think Ecuador is a little bit better, potentially. We haven't seen that yet, so I can't really confirm that. But let's just assume they're the same. Yep. Ecuador made Colombia look quite bad, right? Yesterday, in 2 games, they made them, they made fools out of them, basically. So, if United States is just as good as them, it could potentially be a repeat, or Colombia actually really researched a lot after the loss against Colombia, kind of figured out what went wrong, and they can, really start enabling their players to the best of their ability, which would mean the game against the United States is probably going to be a lot closer.
Yes, but at the same time, the US we have seen every single day the last couple of days, Black, was the USA on a new patch, and they've also had 2 days to actually adjust even better to this new patch, which could be quite scary for Colombia.
Yeah, the United States just checked, won both their games in 26, 24 minutes respectively, so...
Wow.
Very dominating, again. I mean, it's pretty much safe to assume United States and Colombia, Ecuador are going to make it through.
Absolutely. Well, we see the highlights of some of the nice hold attempts that Costa Rica had here. I gotta say, I feel like the Mars was really underwhelming in this game. Maybe a different offlaner, something that you know gets online a bit sooner, is not as much dependent on farm because he fell very far behind, and by the time he got the blink dagger he was about what 6-7k goal behind every other core, including the snapfire of Colombia. The Mars didn't really impress me as much, sadly, for Thorai, which I think had an overall pretty solid tournament. But other than that, I really liked what we saw from Ryu on the Timbersaw and 433 on the CK, with Shiri and Dagira doing well anything you can do as a support versus such a strong opposition.
Yeah, they tried their best. Definitely won't have too many regrets because they got to play at their best against the team that just outclassed them. Can't really be too upset with that. Still made it third place, so that's at least something. But yeah,
Third place
back
in the groups.
to the drawing game, back to the drawing board for them. Maybe prepare for next year.
Are we gonna give the MVP to Aldana on the Snapfire? Second most damage on the server, didn't even go for the damage build, had Greaves at like minute 14.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to find another MVP worthy player in this game. I think he played
Also
an
most
amazing game,
kills, 15 eliminations, 12, 2 and 19 assists. I think he definitely deserves that there. Despite, Mapu had great. It's a Weaver, right? We don't like that hero. Asus, very impressive, but also a Pangolier. We don't like that hero. So I think it's fair to give it to the support again, as is a tradition with us, especially in these qualifiers. As Black, right now, I am getting very giddy for the final two matches that will let us know who will be representing the Americas. And who will be joining Argentina, of course, as a representative of the Americas at World Esports Championships. But that is going to mean the end of the road for 4 of the teams: Mexico, Guatemala, Panama, and Costa Rica. The dreams have finished, and there's only 4 remaining fighting for the final 2 slots. You mentioned United States versus Colombia, Ecuador versus Venezuela, and we have 2 heavy favorites and 2 underdogs wanting to make a name for their nation in this esport. This is kind of all we have for you right now. So I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent before we send it for a break before the final series, Black, and ask you, looking at this Colombian roster, they played really well right now, not so well yesterday. How do you think they would match up versus Argentina from the Pool B, which already qualified?
I think they're probably about even, I'd say. Yeah, I think it would be a very even match.
So that might be a bit of a unfortunate luck of the draw, being in the pool with the considerable better teams of Ecuador and United States. That is, of course, if Colombia loses in their next match. But we will have to take an extended break, about half an hour or so, before we get to see in action United States versus Colombia fighting for a spot at the World Esports Championships. See you then.